This right here gonna be a cakewalk.
The first character we're going to talk about is Yoshimitsu. They have a paragraph here that sort of talks about the idea of Yoshimitsu. It only takes one glance at Yoshimitsu to see he's not like the other Tekken fighters. Just look at him. He's so weird. I mean, for starters, why is he allowed to fight with a sword? Combat advantage aside, being a max weirdo has paid dividends for Yoshimitsu, who has become one of the most recognizable fighters of the franchise. In each game, his appearance changes, but he always wields his iconic sword and has always covers his face with a mask. In original English Tekken manual, Yoshimitsu was described as a space ninja. Whether or not Yoshimitsu is actually from space is up for debate. Maybe the phrase was mistranslated. Maybe it's Yoshimitsu's way of hiding his own legend. In Tekken 1, he was a human, of course, but then they started talking about him being a space, alien, samurai, cowboy, robot. In Tekken 7, he looks like a squid, and I think this kind of plays more so into the idea of, is he an alien? But I think this is the coolest thing about Yoshimitsu, that Tekken 7 and just all of the Tekkens doesn't do enough. Sometimes the question is a lot more exciting than the answer. We know Yoshimitsu is human, but it's better for new players coming into the series for them to maybe wonder, what is he? A robot? An alien? That kind of question is exciting. The same thing for Leo. This is going to be a bloodbath right here. One of the key things that people always point to when trying to prove whether or not Leo is male or female. Harada says Leo is Leo, but a lot of people point out that Yoshimitsu refers to Leo as he. Waiting for Yoshimitsu in the gloom was a charming young martial artist. Yoshimitsu couldn't say for sure, but
Here I come. Here I come.
He thought he seemed a little tense. To my knowledge, this is Yoshimitsu's first time ever meeting Leo. Just because someone says he or she or whatever doesn't mean that that's what that character is. And I think this once again plays with the idea of sometimes the question is a lot more interesting than the answer. I just love it because I always poke fun at these things and I like to get the community riled up. Something that I thought was interesting was they have a section here about Dr. Bosconovitch. Dr. Bosconovitch's biggest role in Tekkenverse is to demonstrate the truly twisted nature of Kazuya Mishima. After taking over the Mishima Zaibatsu at the end of Tekken, Kazuya kidnapped Dr. Bosconovitch and forced him to develop a host of morally objectable weapons and experiments, including but not limited to, I like how they say not limited to, a prototype Jack, a killer robot, Roger, and Alex. It says here that Dr. Bosconovitch, his biggest role is to demonstrate the truly twisted nature of Kazuya Mishima. I think this is really interesting because you have Dr. Bosconovitch, who was confirmed by the official Tekken Twitter to be killed off by Brian Fury. The reason why that kind of makes sense is because he's done what he was designed to do. It says here that he was specifically created to show how evil Kazuya is. You have 3 examples of how that's been fulfilled, and there's possibly some that we haven't seen yet. This is where Lucky Chloe comes into the conversation, and I know everyone hates Lucky Chloe, but you're really going to want to hear this because Kazuya is a genius.
Oh, backswing! Oh, he fucking dropped a combo, you fucking asshole! Oh my god! Another backswing! Another back!
It says, Kazuya may have followed his father's footsteps in turning an international conglomerate into a force for worldwide evil, talking about G Corporation, but he knew one thing Heihachi didn't. If you want to get away with the very worst things imaginable and still turn a profit, you do it with branding. One thing that I do want to mention though, the Mishima Zaibatsu, from time to time, they did go around and help people. In Josie's story, we saw that their country, the Philippines, was hit by like a tsunami or something, and the Mishima Zaibatsu showed up to help. What Kazuya is doing is focusing on branding, making sure the company looks good. Because a lot of what he did was in the shadows, but in the spotlight, he had Lucky Chloe. Lucky Chloe is the smiling face of G Corporation, a bubbly voice and a pink cat ears that almost makes us forget that her parent company is probably experimenting on real cats this very instant. Danger lying beneath the shining surface, just like G Corporation itself. Now, one of the biggest questions that I have with Lucky Chloe is, does she know that Kazuya is controlling the company from the shadows? That is what the whole story of Tekken 7 was about. Heihachi got the narrator to expose the truth to the world. I want to know if Lucky Chloe knew that about Kazuya. If she knew these things that no one else knew and she still went along with it. Or if the face of the company didn't even know. Because if she didn't know, her reaction is possibly one of the most important reactions out of all the characters, really. Because it says here, she is the face of G Corporation. So if she turns on the company and if she gets her Twitter fingers going, that can have a big impact on how the people of the Tekken universe view G Corporation. To kind of give a world example, it's kind of like when you see athletes or musicians, they start tweeting and trying to cancel these companies. It can have that same level of effect where you have very influential people influencing people, right?
This is like a huge reason why I also don't cancel people. Everyone cancels.
Another section here focuses on the backlash that Harada received for the character Lucky Chloe. It says, Lucky Chuck Norris. Prior to the launch of Tekken 7, Lucky Chloe was revealed as a new character in a 20th anniversary stream. The backlash was immediate. Western gaming press was skeptical of a sexualized kawaii design, and the fans took her presence as a sign that Tekken was trending further from the dignified roots they held dear, and the book starts making fun of that idea. The Tekken where buff, spiky-haired men could fight a bear for control of a weapon manufacturer and mean it. You can see how the book is saying that Tekken always is grounded in sort of this, weird abstract. But when they add some other weird stuff that people don't like, then everybody want to start saying it's super serious. And you can see here how the book is being very cheeky, very cheeky. Harada took to Twitter to respond to the backlash, stating Lucky Chloe would be an exclusive to Asia and Europe region where she would be appreciated and accepted. For North America, perhaps he would replace her with a muscular and skinhead character. Western gaming press doubled down on the controversy by reporting Harada's tweet as news. Now, I think Harada learned from this. His tweets does function as news in a sense. If he tweets something right now, I'm going to talk about it as if it is fact. And I think this instant is where he really started to learn, like, okay, when I tweet something, it's going to get headlines. Backlash to the backlash was immediate. Harada was forced to clarify. He'd been kidding, of course. Lucky Chloe would be available to Tekken players worldwide. Harada emphasized, however, that she would be only one of the many new characters with a roster of over 30 characters. Not every player will love every character. Lucky Chloe has nonetheless become a staple at conventions and competitions amongst cosplayers. Lucky is of a new wave of Japanese culture, idol, anime, and hikaju. Now, the final thing that I'll say about Lucky Chloe is, one, Harada put out a tweet later on and said that she's really popular in North America. But two, I think if you guys saw the Mishima Zaibatsu video where I was talking about how Japan no longer relates to Tekken, I think Lucky Chloe is Tekken's attempt to regain popularity in Japan.
Je ne sais pas. Juste comme ça. C'était rigolo. Et tu le méritais pour avoir été tellement